Dave Burke, First Star Football Report. Last Friday night, we watched St. Xavier take on Moeller. One of the players in that game for St. Xavier was junior offensive lineman Cameron Collins, a player we've been watching for a couple years now, as Collins was a starter as a sophomore for the Bombers. And we had seen him in camp that previous summer and liked what we saw early on. After the game Friday, we spoke to Collins about his three offers: Akron, Toledo, and the newest one he'd received from Central Michigan. He also talked about some of the schools he hoped to hear from. One of those schools was Louisville. Tuesday, Louisville reached out and extended to him the first Power 5 offer. We had a chance to catch up with Cameron Collins about that offer, and that'll be coming up after this in the interview. We want to thank First Star Logistics for their continued support. If you're looking for a new career, be sure to visit firststarlogistics.com to learn more about the great company they are. They are hiring. Also, do us a favor. Hit the subscribe button. Help us grow this channel to bring you more content like you're going to watch here with our interview with Cameron Collins. We're talking with Cameron Collins, a 2021 prospect out of Cincinnati, Ohio, St. Xavier High School. We just recently had a chance to see Cameron in action Friday night in a win over Cincinnati Moeller that clinched them the GCL title. Monday was a big day for Cameron. First Power 5 offer, always something that a prospect remembers, and a school that you visited and also have high interest in, the University of Louisville. Talk about today and getting that offer.
I mean, it's been a great day. Got a call from Coach Thomas and Coach Ledford. Great call. They told me I had a scholarship offer, and then I mean, it's great. I visited down there. I really loved it when I was down there, and just can't wait to learn more about them and get back down there.
I know this happened before COVID hit, but kind of go back to the things you saw when you visited that kind of caught your interest.
I mean, they're top of the line facilities, great coaching staff. All of them are super friendly. Not even the coaches, everyone that was there talked to me. Even the players came up and said hi. Top of the line facilities, like I said before, but yeah, just beautiful campus.
No disrespect to the schools you've already had offers from in the Mid-American Conference, places like Akron, Toledo, and Central Michigan that you just picked up this past week. But getting that Power 5 offer, is that a weight off your shoulders, knowing that you're one of those guys that did not have the opportunity to do summer camps because of COVID?
I mean, of course. I mean, being able to break into the Power 5 has always been something I've been looking forward to. I mean, I'm really excited to do that, especially not being able to go to camps, like you said, not being able to go to any of those camps, get any of that exposure. But this is a great weight off my shoulders. I'm really excited. So hopefully see what the future holds now.
When we spoke after your game Friday night, you were excited. You won the GCL, which is something that hadn't been done for a few years at St. X, and all your teammates were excited. And I know you guys you always put team. I've had a chance to cover a lot of young men that come out of St. Xavier over the years. Team always comes before personal gain. And, but getting this in this craziness, how did your teammates react when they found out?
They reacted since I got to post it during school. They all came up to me congratulating me, and then everyone, even the guys like Brian, who already has offers, he was really excited for me. So great team atmosphere. We got great chemistry.
You talked a little bit about what you saw when you were down there for the junior day. Does it make it harder now that knowing that here's a school that's offered you want to get back to campus, but right now the NCAA, the dead period is right now, at least till January 1st. So that's not going to happen until 2021.
Yeah. I mean, of course, not being able to visit Louisville or any of the other schools that offered me, it's really hard, especially with now that I have to start thinking about making a decision. So yeah, this is making it a little difficult, but when we get back into January, it'll ease off. So
we've had a chance to watch you kind of develop and grow over the last couple of years. You're a guy who got a chance to start at varsity as a sophomore, and I started thinking about other guys who've come through St. X who've done the same accomplishment. It's not something that happens all the time, especially along the offensive line. And talk about, we spoke a little bit about in the interview we did Friday night after the game, But here, I want to kind of put some clips up of you from the season. It's only a few clips. Talk about the growth you've seen out of yourself as a player.
Well, of course, I mean, going from last year to this year, I mean, I've put on weight, I've put on muscle, and then especially just getting to see the level of competition that I see in the GCL at week in and week out, it's just made me grow exponentially as a player. So yeah, all these guys that I've been facing have been top of the line guys. There is no Little Sisters of the Poor that we've been playing. It's a ringer. So I've really gotten a chance to improve really quickly.
And for those watching, number 74 lining up at left tackle for the St. X Bombers. And Cameron, when we sit there and break down a film, the one thing we've seen growth-wise out of you over the last year, you talk about the physical growth. Talk about how you went about doing that, because, where were you a year ago weight-wise and where you're at now?
Well, let's see. A year ago today, I was probably around 230, 240 pounds. So putting on 20, 30 pounds is great. And I mean, I went about that. Coach T, great strength and conditioning coach. He set me on a plan to eat and lift. So he really helped me get up to the weight I am now.
And how did you adjust? Because again, we're talking about the preseason wasn't like it normally is. I think you guys, did have a scrimmage. I think you got one in, one of the few schools that may have got one in, but you didn't really have like the camp you normally would have had. And making that adjustment and carrying that body weight onto the field and putting those pads on. What was that like the first few days when you go out there 25 pounds heavier and you throw those pads on? And, when you get out on the field and you're able to actually do some physical blocking and going against guys, how did that feel for you?
I mean, it was pretty different, but we still got to do a lot of stuff over the summer. We were really lucky. We have the resources at St. X that we could have stayed safe and still got to do football activities. But still, every year it's like that, putting on knee braces, putting on pads. You feel a little different, but after a few days, you get used to it.
I know this conversation is a lot about the University of Louisville and that offer, but talk about some of the other schools that you have interest in that you hope at some point in time in the next few months get a chance to visit, and you hope that they show interest in you like the University of Louisville has.
So some schools that I would really like to get up to and visit, and hopefully they have interest in me, is the academies, West Point, the Naval Academy, Air Force Academy, all of those. Really, I've had interest in those since I don't know how long. And then schools like UC, local schools, love to get down there and visit. And then a couple big ones would be Notre Dame. I'd love to get up there and visit again. I loved it when I was up there last year. So
what was it? Because you went up there as a guy really kind of along with some teammates. You guys had a game up in that region and you got a chance to stay over and go to the game the next day. Talk about what you remember from that visit with the Irish.
All I can remember is how beautiful those facilities were. Everything was beautiful. So much tradition there, so much a winning tradition there. It was amazing getting to see that and getting to watch a game, especially being there with my teammates. It was great.
You talked about the University of Cincinnati, and they pride themselves on recruiting local kids. What would an offer from the Bearcats mean to you?
I mean, it'd mean the world to me. I mean, I know so many people who go there, and I've been watching their games since I was a little kid. And one of my best friends from St. X, he just got offered from there, so it'd be great.
And we had a chance to see you in camps 2 summers ago, Indiana University. I knew you had a good camp there. Coach Darren Hiller was the O-line coach. He seemed to show some interest in you. Maybe talk about some of those Big Ten schools. I think you've the Michigan States and the Indianas and places like that as well.
Yeah, so let's see. I was a freshman when I went up into the Indiana camp. I kind of got my butt kicked, but that was because I was a small little freshman. But I was disappointed I couldn't go up there this summer to really show how much I've improved. But I mean, I just got to roll with the punches. And I went up and visited Michigan State. Beautiful, beautiful place. I really want to get back up there again, hopefully when it's a little warmer, because it was really cold when I was up there last. But yeah, great places.
Right now, you've got, because of the craziness of the season, 1 week of the regular season left. You have 1 goal down. I kind of heard some of the speech Coach Speck gave after the game that basically, hey, this is just one of the goals we set, was winning the Greater Catholic League. Talk about some of those other accomplishments you hope as a team to achieve as this season goes on, with 1 week of the regular season and then this new format for this year where every team gets into the playoffs.
Yeah, so like Coach Speck said after the game, he said, this was one of our two goals, but this one's over now, and we can't think about this too much longer because it's just going to get us caught up. So we just gotta now. Our next goal is the state title, like it is every year. So where everyone gets in the playoffs, it's going to be a 8-week grind, but that's our goal: win a state title.
You talked about the academies as well, and I want to kind of touch on that because usually when guys talk about that, those guys are also high academic kids in school. Talk about maybe what your interests are as far as future studies when you would go to college and why those academies have your interest.
Well, so studying in college, my two main ones would probably be either engineering or medical. Right now in school, I'm taking physics, so if I really enjoy that, then I'll probably lean engineering, but medical if otherwise. But the academies, I'm really thinking about them is because I come from a military family. My dad was in the Army. My grandfather was in the Air Force. So that's just always been a tradition, kind of a tradition in my family. And seeing those amazing men that come out of there, leaders, amazing, just great men. And I'd love to be a part of that tradition.
We've been talking with Cameron Collins, junior offensive lineman, St. Xavier High School, about his newest offer, the University of Louisville, and also some of the other schools he have interest in as far as going forward. And we're going to let you go at this time, Cameron. We appreciate you taking the time and continued success.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Burke.